Sup shooters, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out a track from an act named Stephen Young, titled Bad Ideas in the Amazon. And if we switch over to here, we have the track on the screen, or rather the art for the track on the screen, Bad Ideas in the Amazon by Stephen Young. This is the first time I've checked out Stephen's work, but I'm keen to hear more of it. So we're going to listen through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
I woke you up from an old bookcase, a keep the grace in a temple. They hung you dry to the mystify. They done you good for the neighbors.
I like his voice. He's got an interesting way of expressing himself. Great vocal tuning, nice use of chest voice there, you know. The melody works really well with the bass and the drums and all the other instruments we've got so far, and it's kind of a sultry kind of, sort of a devious tone. So you never know, you don't know what's going to happen next.
Walk the face of earth once more. My godless puppet strings are warm. I've got creaky bones, bad ideas in the Amazon, ancient tones, incarnations in many forms, creaky bones, bad ideas in the Amazon, telephones, and a broken promise from shame.
Okay, I like the mix. There's a discernible increase in the energy. Nice diamond range to the performance there, change between that hook and that verse, so that build into it. The guitars are panned really nicely. There is an interesting bass line and chord progression as well, which is kind of unusual, and we are showing a little bit of variation in the original musical motif, which I appreciate, you know. There's enough to keep you entertained and intrigued by it. Oh, really fuzzy, kind of gritty tone to these extra overlays now on the strings.
They wrapped you up like a fresh bouquet. It was in the days of Egyptian empires. I can't quantify my super.
A shout out as well to the decision we made there to have that low guitar come in there, boom, boom, bop, 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 to kind of add a nice upper mid texture there. The reason I like it is because it led into it. It was a nice way to transition into the second half there, and it was something that we hadn't had before. It's really clever stuff. Nice work with the bells as well. It kind of makes you wonder whether by being wrapped up, like they got married and like taken away or something like that, with the, you know, the wedding bells, I suppose.
Of earth once more. My godless puppet strings are warm. I've got creaky bones, bad ideas in the Amazon, ancient tones, incarnations in many forms, creaky bones, bad ideas in the Amazon, telephones, and a broken promise from Jane.
Nice, great use of a fuzz for the lead texture here. It does stand out and mix really well. The compression and limiting on the master chain is it's working well as well. Like you've still got, it doesn't like pulsate and breathe like it does when you over limit something, but at the same time everything seems nicely glued together. Again, that dynamic range.
I've got creaky bones.
I'll call and response. Nice.
Creaky bones. Telephones. Creaky bones, bad ideas in the Amazon, ancient tones.
Just a heads up, I'm not entirely sure what the song's about at this point. Like, you know, the creaky bones and ancient tones, you know, bad ideas in the Amazon being tied up and all these other things. You know, wandering the earth. You know, the vocals are coming through clearly. I just think I need a little bit more context for it. Maybe that was provided in the first verse when I was gushing over a lot of the other elements. I'm not sure.
I woke you up from an old bookcase.
Nice use of that electric key at the end. Nice use of the electric keys at the end, you know. Because this is my review of Bad Ideas in the Amazon by Stephen Young. Fantastic video. Fantastic video. What am I talking about? Fantastic song, rather. I don't know if this is a fantastic video yet. This is, you know, my conclusion of the track. Again, what do I think about the song is about? I think it's about a man who is trying going around the earth, trying to find the truth about things, waking someone up from a fresh bouquet or something like that. Maybe they're trying to find something out of another person and they're trying to discover that. And the Creaky Bones have been searching for a while for it. You know, Bad Ideas in the Amazon, maybe going into the wilderness is going outside their comfort zones to find that connection. I'm not sure. That's my best take of it. Maybe y'all in the comments can let me know. But ultimately, I don't mind not knowing what a track is about. I think it gives you replayability because it's like, okay, I reckon the second time I'll just listen a little more closely and I'll get it. And that's dope, you know. It encourages you to listen more to it to get all the different intricacies about it. What else do I think? You know, again, the vocal performance is fantastic. The guy has great pipes. Sits nicely and resonant in the mix. The compression on the vocals and the effects chain there is stunning. And, you know, he's got this... He's got like an effortless vibrato that comes in there, and it's kind of fascinating to listen to. You want to hear more of it. There's no sharpness or unwanted textures there or resonances. It works really well from the kind of the gritty filth that comes from those overdriven tones and the sound of those bombastic drums there in the hook sections, especially in the bass there. But what I've got to give a shout out to is that initial theme, that motif there, you know. It's a real. There's changes between, you know, those chorus and verse parts with the harmonies and the chord progressions and bass lines, and I enjoy that because you have a situation where we are aware that just having one melodic or harmonic sequence isn't enough to keep the listener engaged and interested. Even in a track that's like as short as this one, like it's in the sweet spot between 2 and 4 minutes. It's almost like we tried to put an extra effort to keep it engaging for the listener because we understood that we can't take the attention for granted. Lots of love with that. I like the fact that we played around with key signatures and the scale shapes there, especially in the second half of each of the times of the chorus riff. Like there's like a parallel major or minor chord there. There was some chromatics or semitonal shifts in there that I really appreciated there. They had a little bit of angst and uncertainty to it, and it's dope. It's a welcome thing because having unpredictability in music is what makes it exciting. The instrumental performances from like the guitar, bass, drums, the piano parts that came in, as well as the synths in the mid part, the keys at the end that were nice and subtle with the quiet bits. Again, the changes, let's look at a few things. Like the drums were supportive. There were a few different fills in there, but ultimately they kept the groove going along in a way that is meaningful. The bass guitar was nice and supportive of the root notes. From what I heard there, it didn't explore too much of the fretboard, but that's okay because there was so much coloration coming in from the guitars and then those synth parts in the hook, synth and key part in the hooks. The guitars were splendid. You know, there was even that little solo section we had later on there. Solos are a rarity nowadays. You just can't take for granted that you'll have an instrumental section. Often a lot of musicians, especially in short form singles like this, are really paranoid about kind of straying away from keeping the voice as the focal point. So I'm glad that Stephen Young had the maturity and the consideration to put that there, you know, allow for a change in texture, take a risk, and I think it paid off in this point of perspective. And yeah, those lots of nice little bits of extra coloration there. We didn't specifically add too much to the triads here. There wasn't a lot of sort of virtuosic shredding or anything like that, and I think there was just a great chemistry between the members involved in this, and it was more about the experience rather than showing how well we could play the instruments, which I always appreciate, you know. The production, the recording, mixing and mastering was special. It was just phenomenal. It was commercial grade. It's ready for release. The EQing was phenomenal. Stereo padding instruments was great. You know, it sounded nice and wide in the hook parts. It came down a little bit there again due to the lack of over compression there, which you sometimes get nowadays, which kind of kills the experience because everything sounds the same and your brain turns off. The effects chains were minimalist on most of the instruments there. We didn't oversaturate them and make them sound anything more or less than what they are at their core, and I think that if anything was added, it was to elevate it, like little bits of reverb occasionally and little bits of delay there. And I like the fact finally, again, that it was nice and loud without pumping. I cannot understate how meaningful it is for me as a reviewer to have someone come in and just know how to nail every single one of these core facets that I talk about within these conclusions. It is not a common thing, and I don't always become, even if I haven't been visibly excited, I have nonetheless enjoyed my time with this. So ultimately, I suppose, thank you very much to Stephen Young for his work on this track, and I wish him the best of luck in future. But thank you. This is my review of Bad Ideas in the Amazon by Stephen Young. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go and show Stephen Young some love via his various social medias. I think this is on YouTube and Spotify and all that kind of good stuff. And stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.